You know what we call this in the United States? God's ketchup, right there.
I've never heard that before. I think he just made it up.
Is this how the other half lives all the time?
One of those things just never happened.
When somebody rips one, you know it, and it's not yours.
It was like Bugs Bunny when he like smelled the carrot soup.
That is the most random thing. What are you talking about?
It's impossible.
After weeks and weeks and weeks, now we're back, Tony, with home field advantage. OverSeasoned is back. I am back on American turf with a whole brand new respect for what it is to be an Americano, not just the coffee, but also just,
You're American now. I love how you just get to continuously pick and choose which place how you identify on any.
I like to grab a hold of culture and immerse myself, Tone. And you know what? Sure. Am I Basque sometimes? Absolutely. Am I Puerto Rican sometimes? Absolutely. But guess what? I landed on American soil yesterday, and I have not seen a single Hellman's ketchup bottle, which by itself has made me feel like I am back. Hellman's mayonnaise. Hellman's is mayonnaise. It is not ketchup, all right?
So Hellman's is the ketchup down there.
In Argentina, Hellman's is the ketchup. Hellman's is the barbecue sauce. Hellman's is the mayonnaise. Hellman's is the mustard, bro. Hellman's just somehow got their paws into every condiment. It was insane. And good on them for completely saturating the market. But it just doesn't feel right. It's
I got you. I got a question though. Like what?
Yeah.
Ketchup is a very American thing.
I'd say so. Part, yes.
Right. So
yes,
what is it that they're using ketchup on?
It's funny you asked that.
Putting it on their medium steaks.
I don't know that they use ketchup for anything, honestly.
It's just brand awareness.
Dude, I didn't see
you didn't feel a whole lot of seasoning was happening or condiment in general, right? Meat on a plate was chimichurri.
Meat on a plate and their chimichurri, and then they have that criolla thing, that their iteration of like the pickled onion type of like green peppers, green bell peppers, red bell peppers chopped up pretty finely with minced onion as well, in a little bit of olive oil and vinegar. Like that's criolla, which also shows up to the party at times.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's not like a normal thing that you see everywhere. Most places when you go out, you'll get some chimichurri.
Almost like a little relish.
That's their ketchup.
It's like a little relish.
Yes, and the criolla is exactly right. It's like a relish.
But
it's like what they
raw.
forgot to add to their chimichurri.
So that's,
you know what I mean?
Kind of what I was going with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
Because in Colombia, is it called criolla? That like standard tomato onion cooked down.
That's ogao. That's ogao.
Ogao. Yeah, right.
Yes.
So it sounds like something in a similar vein, but
that's correct. Yes.
Served at similar times, I guess I should say, not taking the place of, but around the same. Right.
Yeah, that's like their ketchup and mustard is like the chimichurri, which is mostly red. Once again, I got lots of chimichurri without a fucking whiff of cilantro or parsley in it. Like mostly ground up chilies with some garlic and oregano, but like it's like 4-to-1 red to green to a point where
it kind of makes sense, because as soon as you have like fresh herbs in there, you can't just make a 5-gallon bucket of it and dole it out, right? As soon as you have fresh herbs, you're kind of like doing it on a little bit more of a frequent basis.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
I mean, even if the herbs of kind of the acid has killed the color, right? You still have adding moisture to it so that it's not going to last for as long.
Yeah. It's exactly right. So, yeah, I mean, I got back and it was good to be back. First meal back, Tony. What do you think is the
That's
first thing
what I
I
was
put?
going to ask. That's what
Yeah.
I was going to. What was your first meal back? Was it? Wait, what time did you land?
So I landed yesterday right around in the morning, very early, got a
Morning.
haircut, got to work, and my first meal was dinner. So first meal was in Sarasota, Florida with Mom Dukes. You know, got a chance to have some dinner with Mom. And I certainly
it's
went
definitely grouper. Definitely grouper.
right on. So yes, I got grouper. I got some Gulf shrimp. I got blackened grouper, blackened snapper. We shared all that stuff. And the kicker, like I think the one that maybe is most seasonal and most famous this type of the year, I also got that. Or this time of the year, I also got that. Any guesses to what that could be on the Gulf Coast of Florida?
No.
Stone crab claws,
of
my
course.
friend.
Yeah, of course.
They were big, meaty, sweet, succulent. And funny enough, so I was in line waiting for my opportunity to order. I'm waiting in line.
So you go to a place
and-
where you order, they bring it out to you. That's your. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
there's
you've
like-
gone to this place several.
Oh,
This is where you wanted to go. What
It's
is
the
it?
haunt. It's a classic. It's called Walt's Fish Camp or Fish Market. Walt's, right? And it's like this old school, been there forever spot. And dude, one of the coolest things about this place is you show up, it looks like an old school, like Gilligan's Island kind of tiki bar, right? But it's surrounded by a big, hot, like black tar asphalt parking lot. So it sits in the middle of it like an island, right? And you know, they do the classic like old clamshells instead of like stones, right?
Mhm.
Kind of like separating the parking lot from the bar but dude, so when you pull up to this spot, which I love about the place is it feels like a fish market no matter where you look. They've got the old harpoons hanging. They've got like, you know, like what are those big pelicans, you know what I mean? Like, and the fish nets kind of hanging out everywhere. But the thing that's to me most interesting, and it talks to the infrastructure and setup needed to do such high volumes of fish. I mean, this place must tops have, I want to say 120 seats. And it's the place that doesn't
That's
take
pretty big.
reservations. It's a solid size for the place, right? I'd say it's 60 inside, 60 outside in terms of seating. The inside, when you walk in, it's essentially a big ass fish market.
Like park benches, like kind of seating.
It's in that vein, right? Yeah.
Right.
It's like
You do an order, they give you a number, you go sit down, they call your number.
they do table
that can-
service, but yes, it
Oh.
feels like that kind of place, right? It's like a big, beautiful. You walk in, the dining room is like no frills, chill. It's got tchotchkes. You know what I mean? You can tell whoever took over
There's
after
got to
the
be
dad.
tchotchkes at a fish market. That's
That's
part of the
correct,
thing,
right?
right?
Yeah, there's nothing like ensuring that you can, all the splattered like crab shells have a place to hide. You know what I mean? After you've cracked them at your table, but so you walk in and it's got no frills tables and a big beautiful fish display. And what I love about the place too is you've got your classics down here in Florida. You've got your grouper, you know, you've got your mahi, right? Which I think almost everyone can associate with Gulf fish. But then they've got really cool fish that you often won't see in almost any other place. And funny enough, I have a hard time thinking of classic seafood restaurants down here that expand beyond those two
The standards, right?
the standards, right?
Right.
Because everybody does tuna, everybody does salmon, everybody does shrimp, right? But tuna and swordfish and salmon are from where you are, right? They're
Right.
from the North Atlantic. And anyway, when I go to Walt's, I'm skipping all that stuff and I'm going right for the local classics. I got some Gulf shrimp. I got some grouper. I got some red snapper. I'm going back there tonight because they have other fish that I never see anywhere else.
You've had enough of the meat centric.
Oh, dude,
you're done with it because they don't like seafood down there, as we learned, right? Their seafood was a tough sell. At that, God, what was the name of that restaurant we went to? It was so fantastic.
Oh, Picaron or
Picaron, and then he opened Ultramarinos.
Ultramarinos.
But he was talking about how he kind of had to really dig deep in order to get seafood into his restaurant, right? And like
that's fresh. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It was difficult. He couldn't just call up the phone and have it delivered. He really had to source this stuff really very carefully because seafood wasn't a big part of the Argentinian, at least Buenos Aires diet.
I think for all of them. I think for all of them, man. And it's such an interesting thing to me. I mean, obviously the beef culture is it's entrenched, right? And everybody does their asados. It's funny. I got a very interesting explanation to asados into the culture, which I can also share.
Yeah.
But ultimately, even the fact that you're in a port town, you know, it's Buenos Aires is in this incredibly like big delta of water where it's across from Paraguay, and it's like a confluence of fresh water with obviously the ocean there on the Atlantic, and there still is just not any real deep culture in terms of seafood. So yeah, the first thing I wanted to do was fucking crush seafood.
It's hard to understand, but yeah, for sure. Well, that's good.
And well, so tonight, just expanding on that thought specific to all of the incredible fish that Walt has. Tonight I'm going to get there's a fish called triple tail, which is like a cousin of the grouper. It's a little bit leaner of a fish, but has incredibly delicious flavor. I'll also be getting some hogfish, which I think is kind of like if a snapper and a grouper were to, maybe crossbreed, you know what I mean? That's there. They have that there as well. And then they have different types of, like they have blacktail grouper, they have all different kinds of grouper. But anyway, this is all to say, like I'm going back and I'm going to continue on the seafood extravaganza because I've been deprived of seafood down in Argentina. So, yeah.
So I'm just reading a little bit about triple tails. They can go up to 40 pounds in size.
And so Walt specifically, and what a cool place. One, it's a no-frills kind of restaurant, right? Like, it's the type of place that has the little plastic ramekins of tartar sauce when you ask for them. It's the type of place that also has like 5 different hot sauces in a caddy when you ask for hot sauce.
That's for you. That's all you need.
Oh yeah,
right?
It's like a mix and match experience.
Hot sauce? Come on.
Oh come on, yeah, exactly. Especially when like in Argentina, like the exotic, I was gonna do my own asado experience, and I was at the supermarket, and this very kind guy who was like stocking like all the spices and stuff saw me like really like focused in
Yeah.
I was locked in trying to find like my seasonings. And interesting, dude, like they don't have powdered garlic in Argentina. Like there's just certain things that they just don't have.
Right.
I'm like, hey, do you have ajo en polvo, which is powdered garlic? And the guy who stocks the shelf is like, no, we have fresh garlic. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just, I'm going to make some blue cheese dressing. And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, oh, well, and I was going down the rabbit hole of explaining it to him, and I could just see his brain exploding, right? Just like you take a chunk of blue cheese and then drop it into mayonnaise and buttermilk. And then he's like, what's buttermilk? And it just, it's just funny how, right. Culturally these things just don't, they don't travel. They
literally don't even know or exist. It's kind of crazy how interrelated the world you think it is from, from a standpoint, and you go to another place and it's your completely foreign place. They don't know what you're talking about, which is the joy of travel,
It's beautiful. And dude, in this case, I literally said, like, do you guys have Worcestershire sauce? And he's like, head explodes again. What's that? And I said, it's like Leon Perrins, and he's like,
Okay. How do you
but he
explain?
knew. Well, he knew what Leon Perrins was and was excited to show me where it was, which it was next to the vinegars and stuff. But I think he called it Lea Perrina. Lea Perrina. And I'm like, I guess.
It's funny. You still know what you're saved in my phone as, right? Farmer Sanchez. That's that funny. Remember that video of that guy going around?
I actually started sharing that. I started sharing that with people, and they find it to be everybody just can't stop laughing. If anybody doesn't know what Farmer Sanchez is, Farmer Sanchez in Manila is a very important ingredient. It is what people will ask for when they get their pizza and they'd like to give it a little extra pizzazz, right? You can put some chili flakes, a little garlic powder, because that exists in Manila, and then Farmer Sanchez. And it's just Farmer Sanchez is also a key ingredient in a cacio e pepe. It's Parmesan cheese. But Farmer Sanchez is how everybody colloquially has come to know. Parmigiano Reggiano just happens to be Farmer Sanchez.
So you're saying you had an interesting talk about where the meat culture started to come from in Argentina? Is that what you were alluding to? You said there was a
so I guess I was so I also got to meet some locals, and we started talking about asado culture and just how important it is to Argentinians. And I guess everybody there, like I said, it's a big deal to do asados, right? Which is like our grilling day, right? It's just asados. It takes a while to get the fire going. And by the way, I got some really good. I got a lot more comfortable with building coals and fires.
That's what I wanted to kind of get into next, actually, because those flat platform. I want to hear how it's done there, because I see a lot of those flat platforms with nowhere for the air to get into it, and with no brasero, right? The brasero, where you put the wood in and it falls down. So I'm curious to hear that next.
Well, So I was like, the Sunday asado is a big deal, and then her response was, so is the Wednesday one. And I'm like,
I love
what's
that.
the Wednesday asado about? And she's like, well, listen, like the Wednesday asado is incredibly important to the Argentinian because you've gotten over, it's like the hump day, and you've gotten over your hump day. And she's like, once you have your Wednesday asado, and she, her explanation
I love how the wind chimes start playing as soon as you start to talk about the Wednesday asado. It's like, it's nice.
Yeah. It is nice, and I guess in this case, it's like a cathartic feeling to know that you're more than halfway done the week,
Sure.
and that Wednesday, for her, Thursday is like the last day of the real work week, because Friday doesn't count. Friday, you're already on the weekend, right? And her explanation to me was that the Wednesday asado is the most important asado of the week, because it's an officially, you're celebrating that there's essentially, since Friday doesn't count, Thursday is the last day of the week. And for the Argentinian, and this is a very like in the mix Argentinian that speaks no English and whatever, and she was just kind of giving me her perspective.
So it's asado on Wednesday and, I'm sorry, it was Wednesday and Sunday. Wednesday and Sunday are the days like the compulsory asado. The other days are just like extra around the edges.
Any day is a good excuse for an asado, according to her, right? Of course. But she said Wednesday and Sunday must happen.
Okay.
Sunday
they all
because
have like beautiful like little atriums in their houses. Every place we saw, right, has like a little central place with an open air where you can like do an asado and without having to. It's part of the kitchen, right? So it's a very natural place for them to just cook. I was curious what they do with the coals all the time, though. I wonder if there's lots of.
So just based on my experience, the spent coals that are left over in the parrilla, the grill, they sweep them up. They just sweep them up and throw them right in the trash.
Bucket. And what are they using for coals in general? Did you find a lot of wood or charcoal? We found charcoal easily when we were down there last year, but did you see like a lot of wood ones or mainly just charcoal?
I would say every single block has a fruteria, right? And the fruteria is essentially the
Bodega.
go-to spot. It's like a bodega, right? But it's very fruit focused. Right now in season is frutilla, is that strawberry that I showed you, and like it's what every like bodega and fruteria, right, which is the major compulsory thing they do is sell fruit. Every single one of the spots has like stacks, and imagine like the wooden stack that you would put like pumpkins in, you know what I mean, like the little crates. That like, you know what I mean? Like that's how they sell and present
those are like
strawberries.
Those are,
like
pumpkins.
stacks.
Okay.
Like, you know how like, I'm trying to think of what Americans would have a similar presentation of.
Like a little crate, right? Like a little crate.
Like a crate that's open on the top, like a wooden crate that's
really
stacks.
been shipped. It hasn't been shipped from another country, right? It's all coming from, it's
Yeah.
not going large distances, so it's not like super.
Yes.
You know, it's not. You're not
So,
getting it at
and you
Costco.
can go through and pick your own strawberries, and I mean,
You can
the
take
strawberries,
strawberries out of one case and you can like assemble your own.
dude. Yes, and I
Wow.
freaked every time I got to it because I actually got comfortable with my local fruta guy, right? Because he loved that
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So anyway, I got to be homies. And so, of course, just like everything else, they're always rotating the stock, and the ones on top or the ones in the front, like if you go to the supermarket, is always the eggs they want to get rid of first. The good ones are in the back. And the same thing with the strawberries. They have these open air, and I'd say they're probably 2 to 3 kilos, about 5 pounds of strawberries in each one of these racks, and it could be stacked like 6 or 7 deep, right? And they're stacked on top of each other. And I got into the habit of fucking moving the stack, because, you know, I have my years of sommelier experience, and I fucking take this, and he would watch me do it. So he'd be like, he knew as soon as I came, like, hey, throw me a bag, because a lot of the places, they don't want you touching anything, right? They don't want you
Right.
touching
You
the
say what you want and they
avocados.
do it.
Yes, and they'll do it for you.
Primarily because they're gonna pick what you're getting, right? So you're not sorting through. Right?
Exactly. And so when I went the first time to this local little fruit stand bodega, I was like, yo, man, those strawberries look fucking insane. Like, can you get me the biggest, darkest ones you have? And he's like, this one. He's like, you know, if I'm picking the biggest, darkest ones, you got to eat them tonight. And I'm like, well, they're not for next week, brother. And then but then, you know, he noticed how particular I was. And he goes, you know what? Here's a glove. You go for it.
Really?
Right? Like, he let me go for it, right? Because I wasn't just picking like 3 strawberries out. I like almost got a kilo every time I went.
I can't believe
you
wore the old man down just with your strawberries.
Oh, this was a young guy. This was a young guy, right?
Like, he's like, give this guy a glove, get him out of my hair. You're like one of those little old ladies, like crawling in the back of the.
Oh, I'm a
walk-in
pain in
for
the fucking ass, dude. I'm
the
a pain
milk
in the
that's
ass.
got
I'm the guy who goes to any, you know, I'm at these restaurants. I'm like, yo, I have a glass of sparkling wine. I don't want it in the sparkling glass. I want it in the normal glass. And like, you know, it's just one of those moments where like,
Heads
you know, an art. Yes, exactly. They're like, what? It can't. Can I do that? Like,
throws
I remember.
the whole table off.
Yeah,
From
bro.
that
And I'm
point
just
forward,
like,
they have no idea what to do.
well, from that point forward, I would just, when it almost like does not compute, robot started to melt at tableside, I just started saying, hey, I'll take a glass of champagne, and then will you bring me a wine glass? That way I could just do the transfer myself.
Okay.
Because otherwise they're like, am I allowed to do that? And then they're asking the bar, and then blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so that's like a pro level move. Explain to people why you do that again.
So the flute is obviously the classic serving vessel for sparkling wines, but in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of most wine people, you get a lot more flavor and nuance, and the bouquet develops better, and it's just a better experience when your sparkling wine is served as it would any other normal wine. It just gives you the opportunity to appreciate the wine more.
And there's no reason to like preserve the perlage, the bubbles, right? They're going to last. They're
going to last in most cases, unless it's a very old wine. And if it's a very old champagne, you still want to really appreciate the nose and bouquet. So to me, like, I always will I'd rather have the wine in a normal wine glass than in a flute. And I think the flute also, I don't know. it's not like you're fancier for having it in a flute. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, so I stopped asking people to serve it in the, like, in a wine glass instead of a flute, and I just asked for the extra thing once. You know what I mean? The extra
Back to the
wine
strawberries.
Glass.
Sorry.
Back to the strawberries, bro. So, dude, like, the strawberries, some of them are so big and beautiful, like they're the size of your hand. And so I would straight up move the first 2 crates off and just rummage through this thing looking for the most perfect strawberries.
So
and the guy enjoyed watching me do it. He enjoyed watching me do it because he liked it.
He's like, look at this crazy.
He would laugh.
Spaniard.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like,
yes.
He's like fucking Puerto Ricans.
Exactly. Which is what everyone says. Even Puerto Ricans say that about Puerto Ricans. And I think he really enjoyed seeing the precision by which I would attack because, you know, there's always that one, right? That one, like to your point, Tony, you buy the strawberries in an American grocery or supermarket and you're relegated to the pack that they made for you.
Yeah,
right?
you got to kind of choose, you know, you're turning it upside down and sideways and trying to, because you can see through it, right? So you're trying to find the best out of all the choices. That's allowed. Yes. What do you got behind you? Is it mowing day there in Florida?
It's always
when you don't have
mowing day
winter
in Florida. In a supermarket in the U.S., you're just working with the strawberries that are in the case. And, you know, you always have to look in there to find, like, there's that white one that, like, got moldy in the side, or you have, like, 2 beautiful ones and the rest aren't the way you like them. And, dude, in Argentina, you could just pick your poison.
Right. But it sounds like most of them were pretty good. They've already kind of been sorted through in a way, I would imagine.
You know,
or did you really have to hunt?
They're so fresh.
Right.
Well, no, here's the thing is like, they're all very good, but it's just like when they're all very good and then there's
you're looking for the
ones.
You're looking for the 1%. You want the 1%.
That's correct. Right. Exactly.
So what was it? So was
looking for the Wagyu of strawberries.
Was it strawberries the whole time you were there, or did the strawberries replace something seasonally?
I don't know. I know that they're going into summer now, and the strawberries are ridiculous. They also have beautiful asparagus coming out right now.
Okay, that's it.
So they definitely have some things, and then some of the onions they have. They have all different kinds of like leeks and onions that are also available. I don't know if they're spring onions or what, but you could definitely see that there's a change in the season. And this is all to say,
right?
The fruteria, but the fruteria then also becomes the spot where you can always get charcoal. Being that the grilling culture is such a big deal there, you essentially go right there for...
It's not even that it's a big deal. It just is, right? It just, if every house has a grill. They all grill on Wednesdays and Sundays, right?
Right. It's like a big, big deal. And so, well, not even a big deal. It's just a part of the ethos of how you eat there, right?
Right.
And so these fruterias have fruit, and they've got charcoal, essentially, right? And like what else would you need? And eggs. So those are the things they sell. No refrigeration in most of these places. They're turning inventory on a pretty quick and consistent basis. And sometimes they will have the chimichurri, like the powder of and you just add olive oil to it and maybe some vinegar. And it's always red. I have some cool pictures of that to show you. And then, so, I mean, they essentially have the go-tos for anything you need to make a salad, anything that you might want to, like, you know, they have all the classics too. Like, artichokes are starting to come out right now. So they have lots of artichokes. So artichokes, strawberries, some fruit like orange and plums, and asparagus seem to be the thing. So you can go there, get stuff for your salad or for grilling peppers or whatever on the grill, and then you got your chimichurri powder, right, which looks like it belongs in a Moroccan spice market. Big one, big one, and they would just sell it by the pound or by the gram.
So it's a powder. What color is it? Red, with like flecks of green, which I think in this case, of course, is oregano, but something oregano, parsley. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
So they just add I had never heard of chimichurri powder. I really want to check out those photos.
I will 100% share those with you.
Cool. So the charcoal is like your briquette charcoal, or is it like mesquite kind of charcoal?
Oh, so the charcoal, interestingly enough, is charcoal that when you it feels like a normal bag of Kingsford, right? But it's not pressed together. These are actual charcoals that have been like charcoals prepared from wood. Like
Okay,
you can
right.
see.
Right.
And then within the
Like
charcoal,
lump charcoal.
yes. Yes. And then within there, you'll see like whole chunks of very obvious like wood knobs, right?
Sure.
Like, so you'll have the normal ones, which let's say are the size of like an apricot or a lemon, right? Down to like smaller dustlings that are, so you got your.
Do you know what type of wood it was, or did anybody get particular about the type of?
I did. There's a blue bag, a navy blue bag that is everywhere. It's everywhere. And I didn't necessarily see other types of charcoal that were like a part of the shopping experience. So, but yeah, the navy blue bag is like the charcoal of Argentina. And I didn't actually find out what it was, because it's kind of like going into, I don't know, like any store and asking them, where's this from? They're like, it's the thing.
Right. Yeah, I know. I got it.
I don't know. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was, yeah. I mean, so that's where you get all your supplies for your asado is the fruteria.
Okay.
Long story short. Yeah. And
so how
yeah,
would you
man.
start that? Because I was curious when you were showing me pictures of your grill, asado.
Yes.
There. Like, how do you start the coals? Because I had problems with my, not problems, but when I first got a gaucho, I didn't get the brasero part, right? So that you could put the wood in and start.
Yeah,
so
explain this. Because
you need airflow underneath to really get the fire going quickly. It'll just take a long time, and you might have to like help it along if there's not airflow underneath. And those, every grill I've seen in Argentina, in the houses at least, they're like a platform with like a grill that raises and lowers, but it's just a fire brick base that you start the charcoals on. But when I was doing it, I was trying to lift it up a little bit to get it going faster so that there's airflow underneath. Did you have that issue at all when you were?
Big time. We did a couple different asados, and and I also engaged the opinion of the Argentinian who had plenty of experience, of course, with asados. And ultimately, she told us that the hardest job is the person who's there constantly getting
air. So that's what you got to do. You have to like get bellows, right? But you don't have to if you have a little platform there to put the charcoal on top.
And nobody has them.
Here's our $1 million idea. We can get Jeff, Fade and Ice fame, to make these platforms with little legs, just like 2 inches tall, with holes in it, right? Put that there, start the coals, like a 1/4 inch, nice thick plate of steel. Start the coals on there. The guy that waves the thing is not gonna have a job anymore. He's gonna be out of luck.
Right. You're going to save a lot of risks, a lot of carpal tunnel.
Maybe they don't want to save that much time.
Maybe that's the thing,
on their
too.
Wednesday, Sunday cookouts.
So I think the thing to do now, Tony, so within this charcoal bag, there were like always a few huge chunks.
Sure.
Of like real knobby charcoal. And I'm talking like the size of my forearm, like big, huge
like
logs.
Logs. Big, huge, like logs, like your arms, like strong,
like my fucking
exactly.
Gotcha, exactly.
Not spindly little things.
No, well, dude, I mean, you think of charcoal and you think of Kingsford charcoal, and dude, they're all the same size. It's like pressed charcoal.
Yeah, that's different.
They're briquettes, right? This was ones that size, one the size of like stones you would skip on a lake.
Tree trunks, and then, like your legs.
And then tree trunks, yes. Yeah. So now I've got what I believe is the way to do it down. So I would find the large pieces of charcoal, right? And I would build a square, right? Put a square in the parrilla, because what Tony's talking about is the fact that none of these grills have, like you look at a classic not Woodford grill. a Weber grill, and the Weber has two grills, two sets of grates. And the first grate that we always interact with is the one that goes over top of the charcoal, right? That's the one that you grill on. But that one underneath is what Tony's talking about, is that airflow you need to get
get a little convection.
Right, and get the charcoal going and allow for all of the coals to light, hopefully in a consistent way.
Keeps it going. Makes it, draws
exactly
air through,
right.
Like anything, yeah.
Exactly right.
Just that in any fireplace, you have something that holds the logs above the bottom. Right?
Exactly right. Okay, and that does not exist in the Argentinian grill setup. So
first we got to show them how to make chimichurri. Now we got to go down there and show them how to start a grill. What is going on down there? Time for another trip.
Yes. So I think what I would do moving forward, which is what we did on our second attempt is get large pieces and build essentially our own like elevated,
like a Lincoln log, so that there's
exactly,
space in
dude.
between.
So 4 chunks of large, Xavier's forearm style, let's call it 16 inches by 12 inches, right? Like a big rectangle with large pieces of wood. In the center, I'm going to put newspaper or whatever we're using to start the fire, and I'll put that in the middle. And then what I would do is put a couple, like 1 or 2 other large pieces of charcoal in the middle. Those are the ones that we're hoping to get lit. And then you essentially light that newspaper so that the centerpieces that you're choosing to be your starter get lit, and then on top of that try to stack things so that the whole thing lights on fire. That's what I would do at this point, because that's what worked best.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we're just essentially building our own little chiminea, but Lincoln log style.
All right. Well, I think that I'm anxious.
There are better ways.
Yeah, like you just need. It's very shocking to me that I didn't think of it first when I first got a gaucho. But then I was always doing. Funny you mentioned the Weber, because I would take that Weber piece out of the bottom, and with little bricks, I would wedge it up in my gaucho and put the coals on top of that, and it could just be piling over. It doesn't have to be like super perfect. It just has to like have a little height for airflow under there. So super interesting.
Right. And the chimenea, which I haven't seen those either, but then you see, like, that would also be incredibly helpful. The chimeneas, you ever work with those? Like the metal grate that has that little it's the same thing. It's like
like a fire.
It's a portable, like a fire starter, right?
Yeah. Sure.
So that also would be a big hit.
I never really thought that was that necessary with the Weber. Did you use those? Is it called a chimenea?
I think it's called a chimenea. Yeah, and I love them always because it takes all the guesswork out.
Sure.
To me, it's like, what's better than...
You can kind of measure the coals for you, too. Remember that we did that grill out last time we were grilling at my house, and I put way too many in, and it was like burning our eyebrows off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it gives you like a nice little fire. But anyway, So this is all to say that it did come up in conversation with this guy. He was like, "So where are you from?" And then one of my friends on the trip said, "You can't be Puerto Rican, Spanish, and American, bro. You know what I mean? You can't. Like, you got to pick one." Okay. Right. So, and they're like, and then they got into this whole thing about how, every time that we meet somebody and they ask you where you're from because your Spanish is good, I don't want to be here to witness your fucking, your life story about how your dad's from here and your mom's from here. Just tell them one thing, right? And get it over with. Right. And I said, cool. Then I'm just going to say I'm American, right? I'm going to say I'm American because in that way I can cut it short. And hopefully the fact that I'm American also means that we don't go any deeper, right? Like, keep it right there, right? Just so since you're sick of hearing the story. And so when I got into the American thing, and I told the guy from the shop, I'm like, yeah, I'm American. He's like, oh, I've never met an American. And I'm like, dude, you're in the middle of Buenos Aires. What do you mean you've never met an American? And he's like, Americans cook? ? And I was like, yeah, Americans cook, brother. We're just like you. It just happens to be that your side of the matrix is in the southern hemisphere.
Just use more garlic powder up there.
Yeah, we use garlic powder. We know what fucking Worcestershire sauce is. And, we have chimineas, right? And so obviously it led to a very interesting conversation because he told me that, if you're here, why wouldn't you just go out to eat all the time? And then it went into the conversation about, we're grilling and all this stuff, and our love of markets and strawberries and everything else.
All that stuff. Cool.
And
Right,
beyond.
man. Where's next? Well, I'm going to Manila on Monday, right? And I'm going to join. You're going to a trade show in Vegas. Hope you have a good time in Vegas. And then you're going to join me in Manila next Friday, I believe. So we'll have We'll have some good stories from Manila. It's been a bit. It's been almost a year since we've been back there together. So we'll hopefully have some new Asian experiences on the way.
Yeah, and there's nothing more exciting to me than the deep dive of pork that is Manila. I saw some incredible pork chops.
We can go back to that
well.
peppertones where you keep saying they had like coconut charcoal.
They have.
I don't know if that's true, but I still want to it sounds great, sounds awesome, but I want to see proof of this coconut charcoal. I want to verify the coconut charcoal and see if I can't figure out exactly what that's all about.
And what, you want to bring some back to the U.S.?
I wouldn't. That would be a mess. But we could certainly figure out some way to use it there. I'm just curious. Coconut charcoal sounds cool. Why not?
I remember.
Burn hotter? Is it add a sweeter, smokier kind of flavor? What's the deal with coconut charcoal? Does it exist? We'll let you know.
We will let you know. And good day to all.
Thank you very much, everybody. Goodbye.
OverSeasoned podcast was brought to you by Over Easy Office, outsourced bookkeeping solution.